My cheating wife has a long list of demands for her mental health. Should I leave her? And this is OKOP, where we read the funniest true stories on the internet. I'm John and Sam.
Yeah.
The question is, should OP leave her without the story?
I mean,
no context.
I'm going to say, I mean, if it is true that she's cheating,
yes,
that is enough to leave someone. If it's true that she's cheating and has like a bunch of demands, I feel like that's like a double reason that you should leave. Like cheaters can't make demands. It's the person who has been cheated on can make the demands.
Can beggars be choosers?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
They
be?
shouldn't. They're, you know, if they're choosing too much, they're gonna starve.
Well, Sam, there's only one way to choose how to find out what happens in the story.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. 30 male, and my wife, 30 female, got married recently. We were together for 6 years before marriage and engaged for 3. Delayed the wedding twice because of COVID.
Oh, rough.
Very rough. Her mental health has always been a struggle: depression, ADHD, anxiety. But during the relationship, it felt like it's slowly beginning worse, and COVID was really bad. She really struggled with not seeing people during the height of the pandemic and anxiety from a family health scare. During this time, she lost her job, but got a new one quickly after that was remote, but therefore more irregular with her hours. I've always tried my best to be supportive, and she said in the past that she felt like I was the only person she's ever met who made her feel she could become who she wants to be. Sounds so great.
I mean,
sounds so
that's
beautiful.
Literally what you want. Someone that makes you feel good and makes you feel like you're blossoming into like a beautiful bumblebee.
This relationship is great and nothing bad is going to go wrong.
No. Everything is about to go swimmingly, which is why we're reading it.
But I suppose that stopped being true at some point. A few months after our wedding, she got COVID and had long COVID symptoms for a while. It was very difficult mentally and physically. I think she was mostly recovered after several months when she got COVID again and then had long COVID symptoms again.
What are the long COVID symptoms?
It's like
brain fog.
Brain fog that doesn't go away, coughs that don't go away, breathing issues. Like basically, I think it's kind of like
infidelity that doesn't go away.
Yeah,
slanging your poontang all around town.
We knew better how to manage it, so it improved slightly faster, the COVID that is, but stress-wise, it all became too much. After she got COVID the second time, we started being much more careful with our masking. We only ate indoors for important occasions and wore masks in bars, etc. We sat outside in the winter at any place that still had outdoor seating. But after her second COVID recovery, she spiraled into a depression worse than I had seen before. She decided to take a leave from work during the depressive episode and leave. I fed her, did all of the household chores, and worked full time. During her leave, she started improving. She attempted to do many things like take classes, but the only thing she really did consistently was yoga. Her sleep schedule. Yeah, Craig is really opening me up, you know?
God.
Like, I've never felt so loose and just, I'm free.
I hope it's not the yoga instructor.
Maybe our next hoodie, instead of Are You in Love, Are You Cheating? Sign here if you're a cheater. Love that.
We did. I feel like we did Have You Been Cheated On the street, which was pretty fun.
Wow.
That was a great one.
Go to r/OKOP show if you have any of those stories.
Cheating stories, yeah.
Her sleep schedule was really inconsistent from the depression, so she would often struggle to go to sleep, resulting in being up late and then napping and continuing the cycle with late sleep times. This meant that she would take later yoga classes after dinner and then have energy. She would also say she needed to think about therapy, etc. Usually, she would say her intention was to be at the bar for an hour or two and then come home.
At the bar? What do you mean at the bar? I thought she was going to yoga.
Oh, hold on. She would say she's going out to a bar with friends from the class, or that she was going to draw at some bar after, or that she needed to think about therapy, etc. Usually, she would say her intention was to be at the bar for an hour or two and then just come home. But she would inevitably say, just another 2 hours while I was out to think about things. And then do that again until the bar's closed, and then she would come home, sometimes drunk. During recovery from a depressive episode and long COVID, I thought that this was an unhealthy coping mechanism, and it made her sleep even worse.
Yeah,
so that's another thing to
bad.
consider. She's like not in her regular routine and whatnot. It meant that she'd sleep through the day and not get vitamin D, and sleep quality is so crucial for mental health as well. I would say my thoughts on this, but she's always been defensive about feedback from me. I've journaled about this many times and talked to her about it, including asking her to talk to her therapist about it. But during our couples therapy sessions, we never really got to issues I had with her communication. We only talked about methods I should use to ensure I don't trigger her from past trauma and how we can both de-escalate very valuable things, of course. But this time, I suppose, was too much. During her times out, guys would walk up to her.
Okay.
Eventually, one wore her down and she made out with him.
Well, at least it's only making out.
And then...
Okay. Oh, God, no. Don't give me an and then.
Actually, I was joking, but...
No.
She gave him her alternative email, and they'd meet up to make out and eventually do the dirty deed.
No.
She also met two other people who she told that she wanted something purely physical with, but she says she never did the dirty deed with them.
Oh, okay. At least it's only one person.
She would just send them dirty texts and then please herself to them.
Okay.
That's it. That's all she did.
Okay. I have a question about cheating that has to do with AI and porn.
I know where this is going.
And so I have a question for both of you, but I'll save it until after.
I discovered this when I picked up her phone to charge when she was napping. We have each other on Face ID and thumbprint, and when you start charging, the screen lights up and shows past notifications. I saw a weird text, so I opened her phone and I looked at it. I didn't think it was suspicious when I clicked on it, and I had literally zero suspicions until I realized what I was actually reading. I looked at it purely with curiosity because we were so open otherwise, so I thought. I was distraught. But I also saw that this guy sent emails to her alternate email that she doesn't keep open by default. I sent myself the emails so she can't deny anything later.
Oh.
Quick question.
Getting receipts, dude.
For you guys and everyone watching, we've talked about going through the phone without any sort of suspicions or anything, but is it okay to, once you have at least maybe not a piece of like a smoking gun type evidence, but some sort of inclination or evidence to go into sleuth mode and start going through phones?
I think it's kind of like, if there's probable cause, then you can do further investigation.
And you kind of happen upon it too, which is honestly how a lot of these stories happen, right? It's like a message pops up on a phone and they glance over and they see it. Like that is a large majority, I would say, of the stories.
And I think further investigation is actually, it is warranted after that point.
Yes. The trust has been broken.
But I would love to hear from you guys.
Now, she woke up from her nap and we talked and cried. I was so broken and numb, but her remorse seemed so complete, and she said that she was dying to be wanted and feel young and alive. She said she never wanted to be with anyone else. She said that she's messed up mentally, and she said that she's sorry that she's destroyed our marriage too. I wanted to work on this, her mental health, and us, and I told her that I still wanted to be with her.
Wow. I probably would not. Well, how long have they been married? 3 years? It was 6 years pre-marriage? 9 years total? 9 years.
9 years.
Okay. How many like cheating chances do you get after 9 years?
I think
of a relationship.
The thing that's maybe a little more tough is like if it happens one time, but it seemed like she was heading in the direction of it like
expanding.
That's the kind of tougher part, probably.
Create a terrible rule right now. Every 4 years, you're entitled to one cheat, but if you do anything more than that, then you're out. Terrible rule. That I do not believe that. Future girlfriend.
He believes that so much.
Please don't.
And on our Have You Cheated sweater, well, it's Have You Cheated to start the conversation, but the lines for the signatures. Actually, can we do a physical demonstration with the sleeve of our soon to be live / maybe already live sweater, luvclub.shop, luvclub.shop. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be for the people that you can sleep with every 4 years, according to Sam's the Samuel Donner philosophy.
I don't want
basically
this to be
it's the Samuel Donner trademark.
Oh my God. I'm
cheating.
already getting so much flack from our audience. We got roasted for this was on the 29th of November.
Yeah.
We got roasted. Probably top 3 times we've ever been roasted by our audience.
Definitely top 3.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Could be number 1.
Could be. The next day was hard, but we seemed to get through it somehow. Then she had a therapist appointment. We talked about it afterwards, and her therapist seemed to tell her, 1, she's never done this before, so it isn't who she is. 2, she was feeling trapped and wanted attention. 3, the leave from work and freedom is working for her mental health, which is true. And 4, it was a violation of privacy the way I discovered it. During this conversation, all the things she said were said very defensively and with an attitude of blaming me for her actions.
It's your fault I cheated. I hate the argument that it's like you weren't giving me enough attention, so I cheated.
It's just...
That is a terrible reason.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like it is definitely a reason people cheat for sure.
Yeah.
but it's like,
take accountability for yourself at least.
If you're not getting enough attention, communicate that you want more attention. Or exit the relationship.
Yes.
Be honest.
Be honest. Talk. Over the next few days, she seemed to take responsibility, and I had hope for our growth from this. But then she wanted to think about what to do about her job after an afternoon yoga class. Now, this was about 5 days after I found out. After the class, she delayed her time of coming home again and again.
Red flag.
I told her to take her time until she told me that she'd be home by 2 a.m. in the morning. I said that she can't do the exact same thing she did when she cheated this soon after having cheated.
Yeah, this soon.
How can she expect me to trust her? She had location sharing on her phone, and I went to the bar that she was at. I told her this again in person. So Opie's pulling up.
He's pretty bad.
Not playing anymore.
Yeah. I broke up with someone for a similar reason, where it's like we just had a conversation about something that we agreed to, and then it was like immediately violated.
Timing. She said that she was staying until 2 a.m. and that's how it was. Stop gaslighting me. I left and she did come home later. I don't think she cheated or anything. After couples therapy the next day, she had another therapist appointment a few hours later. After that, she's basically not been home.
Dude, this therapist is trying to whisk her away. This therapist is moving in on the relationship.
Is this therapist person, Steve? Does Steve also have a therapy license in addition to his yoga license?
Also, is it legal for a therapist to hook up with their patients?
Unethical and illegal.
Nice.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Steve, watch your back. We're going to report you.
She has told me semi-loose plans, having dinner with a certain friend, but not more than that. She says that she needs the space. She'll come home late and she'll sleep on the couch until I wake up and then go to sleep in our bed until it's time to leave the house again. Based on our couples therapy session, I think she is going to demand changes from me so she doesn't feel trapped. I don't want her to feel trapped. I want her to be healthy and to have healthy coping mechanisms and to want to be with me. She still texts "I love you" to me, but she hasn't said she loves me in a week. I am so scared that she wants to separate more completely, not only for my sake, but hers. She has self-harm ideation, and I just want her to be okay. I think she has projected her parents' relationship onto me and will see anything I do as controlling or annoying at this point. So there's another bit of background information. I think her therapist has heard her talk about me as well and is encouraging separation. Dang, I just hate when the stories when nobody is in OP's corner, when OP is like just trying to do whatever they can to like
we only have OP's perspective, so
this is
take
true.
it with a grain of salt.
Very true.
Everything that we've heard in this story feels like he's not getting a fair shot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it feels like OP's willing to take steps towards what needs to be done for his wife, but his wife is not down to extend him that same courtesy.
I think that's exactly what it is. I don't think her therapist is wrong based on what she's heard, but I think it's possible my wife is being selective about what she tells the therapist. For example, she didn't tell the therapist she was cheating on me for the 2 months it was happening. I would guess that she also wasn't telling the therapist how often that she was going out drinking alone. At our next couples therapy session, I think I'm going to be told that she's moving out, and if I don't want that, I will be controlling her again. I don't know how it's come to this. When the couples therapist found out, she told me just because she feels trapped does not mean that you are trapping her. But I am scared that my wife, who definitely has felt I walk over her in conversations, is choosing now to put her foot down in the sand. It feels like the most unfair time and decision, but I don't want to lose her and start my whole life over. I also don't want to acquiesce to this and have her think that she is right to think that I want to control her, because as Opie said, that's not his want at all. That would result in a life of her resenting me in her mind. I know I'm not blameless. We got couples therapy before this happened for a reason. I am argumentative and she gets triggered by confrontation from past trauma. We've worked on it a lot and I am doing better, but I'm not perfect. But above all else, I want to tell her to be happy and healthy, and I thought she knew that. So how can she think that I want to control her instead of thinking that she's coping unhealthily? I don't know how I came across this text, but I am kind of numb right now writing it. I can't stress enough that I try in every conversation to understand, even if she feels I'm just trying to win the conversation, or if the conversation gets heightened by my tone or her trauma. It's the number one thing we've talked about, and it hurts so much that she really thinks I want to control her, even though what I'm proposing, not demanding, is as mild as being home by midnight on weekdays and trying to sleep well for her mental health. We do have a juicy update coming up. But we should take a pause here. Fellas, everyone watching, what should OP do?
Can we first answer that question?
Yeah.
Right. So the question is OP asking too much by giving the stipulation saying be home by 12 p.m. on weekdays?
No. Well,
is that too much? Like if you told your girlfriend, hey, be home, like, but again, that's like assuming, like that's after someone cheated, but maybe it doesn't matter if maybe it does.
That is actually, I think that's a good.
Would you put that as a stipulation for your relationship?
I mean, and again, like I've never really been in a scenario like this, so maybe I would feel differently if I was in OP's shoes, but I know that I wouldn't like that for me now that I'm thinking about it. And
do you have any rules? Like here, for example, one of my ex relationships, I made a rule after like an incident, basically like, hey, don't stay at this guy's apartment alone after midnight. Is that would that be a rule or no?
I've just never, I don't think I've run into a scenario that's warranted that kind of thing where I felt,
and it's like, once you have to start putting rules like that, then it's like the person's not respecting the spirit of like your perceived relationship agreement. Yeah.
Because like I imagine you never would have thought to say that unless a scenario happened that warranted you to want to do that. So
it's in an effort to like save the relationship. Yeah. But it also is like, I think a fundamental in having to create that rule, it's a fundamental like misunderstanding of I'm not comfortable with it and you're not understanding the behavior. So I have to make a rule to make you understand. You still might not understand the behavior that you're doing. That's like not making me feel good. And I guess in this case, it's like cheating.
Yeah. And the tricky thing too is like, it's almost like, going to the gym or like stop eating sugar. Like it's kind of hard to be like, all right, I'll eat a little sugar here and there. Like it's typically at least maybe not easier, but cleaner to just make like a hard line rule. But also there's probably many scenarios where it's like reasonable for her to like, what if she goes to a work event, and she's like, oh, I'm like, I don't know, networking or whatever. And it's just like going on late.
Was for my rule?
No, for OP's rule, for OP's rule, right? Like what if his wife is like finally getting back out there like, oh, I'm going to start networking to get a job or something. Well, that's super reasonable, but it's like.
But how often are you networking past midnight?
Hey, people be they put the work in network.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Although I do know like pretty healthy relationships where the partners have like rules.
I think that maybe bringing it back to big picture, does the trust get rebuilt? That's basically.
Yeah. And really like, I guess what it is the rules are a method to rebuild trust. Like, hey, this is like a way that you can make me feel comfortable. Continue showing me that you can do that. And then maybe you don't need the rule anymore after a while that now I feel respected.
100%.
I think it's training wheels. It's training wheels that can eventually be taken off.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, yeah. I think it's reasonable given this context. And if that's we just want to rebuild trust.
Yeah. That's it. And like, this is not, I think if you phrase it like, this is not like a forever thing. This is just a for right now thing while we build the trust back. Yeah. It feels pretty good, actually.
I think that feels pretty good. And again, bringing it to the table. What does the other partner think? Both come. Yeah. It seems like they both agreed to this, right?
OP's girlfriend did agree to it.
That's the other thing too.
That's what annoyed me about my situation is she agreed to it. And then like literally 3 days later, it didn't just transcend. I'm like, we just talked about this.
Timing, baby. Yeah. Wait, at least. But we're not going to wait to get into this update. After seeing the couples therapist again, the couples therapist and my therapist strongly felt like my wife has bipolar disorder. Level 1 or 2 is unknown. What does that mean?
Bipolar disorder 1 experienced more severe highs, mania.
Oh, okay. Really? Okay, so type 1 is worse.
May not have depressive episodes, while people with 2 experience less severe highs, but they have deeper depressive episodes.
Got it.
Oh, okay. So like one's like trending towards mania and one's trending towards depression.
Like very strong depression, it seems like. Okay. She was triggered from long COVID or something like that. Some family also suspected it. Over the last few weeks, we've had a few cycles in which she comes back to me crying, apologizing, saying that she doesn't want anyone but me. All the things that I want to hear. We'll talk about what our future might look like and whether we need a change of location or some kind of reset. We make up, including doing the dirty deed. This form of absolution for her seems to calm her, but then she seems to get antsy again and leave for increasing amounts of time, again with unsafe behaviors.
Dude, it's a classic toxic relationship. It's like you fight, you break up, you get back together, sex is incredible, and then the cycle repeats.
Hell yeah.
I'm in.
Woo! She has admitted to continuing cheating
Bro, break
in
up with
these
her.
times as well. I'm worried about it as she's come back from wherever she's been at times like 6 a.m. and then sleeping for 14, 15, and once even over 19 hours.
Wow.
It feels very stereotypical bipolar behavior. Talking to my therapist, I've come to realize how unlikely it is that this will end up okay. I love this person, and as much as I want the best for her, it is not guaranteed that I am actually helping. Not because I'm not doing all I can, but because all change for her has to be internal. And statistically, bipolar takes a while to treat. And even if it is treated very successfully, we go back to having a relationship in which she was so secure about whether she was good enough for me, about her own intelligence, and about confrontation that it'll be hard to think we will make it regardless. So I've basically made the internal decision that I will be seeking legal separation.
Nice.
Basically divorcing with separated finances, but she can stay on my health insurance. That's cool. That's very nice of OP. My therapist also said that I do exhibit some habits for control to alleviate anxiety. So some uncertainty will be good to learn to deal with. So I think it will be a win-win for my mental state and my future. I'm basically going to prepare this all, and when I think my wife is in a stable place, I will ask for separation. She has already packed her things, intending to move out anyways, so I think it will be relatively seamless.
Wow. At least they're on the same page now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's probably better than her like wanting to stay in the relationship and then having a, very hard experience and reacting very negatively.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some solo trips and ask some friends to plan a different trip with me as well. I've also been reaching out to many old friends, reestablishing my old community, and it's made me sad that I lost touch with so many great people, and I'm so happy that I've been able to get them back in my life.
That's a classic, like you get into a relationship and then you don't hang out with your friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like you gotta continue to do, I mean, it happens to everyone, but you gotta continue to do that. And at least OP's seeing there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like he can hang out with the people, he can build that community up, but fucking rough scenario.
Rough go, right? And like, again, we only had OP's side of the story, but I think OP, he put in work. I mean, just think about the period of time where he was working and doing all the household chores. He didn't really ever seem to like complain about that, at least in his writing, which to me is a pretty good sign that he was pretty level.
It doesn't seem like he brought
it.
that up even.
Yeah.
As like someone who might have been a little bit upset about having to do that would have been like, well, I did all the dirty dishes for like 4 months or whatever. Well, it seemed like he wanted to do that for her to help. And so he's not like using it as a bargaining chip in the fighting.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you.
Yes.
So many people would say that watching porn in a relationship is not cheating, right?
Yes.
Right? Some people would. Actually, I have a question in the comments.
Some people like
I have a question
you?
in the comments. Do you think watching porn in a relationship is cheating in your relationship or in past relationships? Put it in. But I think in most of my past relationships, that hasn't been like
an issue.
Yeah, it's not labeled as cheating.
Yeah.
Okay? But you would say sexting someone is cheating.
Right.
Okay. If you're sexting an AI that's like, oh, I'm sending you dirty pics, is that porn or is that cheating? And then what if you're sexting someone that you don't know? What is it like all right. I want to know. I want to know that question first. If you're sexting an AI, Naima caught you sexting an AI girlfriend. Would she be upset?
Oh, yes. Yeah, like absolutely. I think it's because there is I don't know if emotional attachment is the right word, but there's a relationship that is developed. It is like
Building
completely transactional and just like one way when you're like, okay, I'm going to this video, I'm getting this thing out of it and I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. It would be different if that person goes to that video is like, what's her name? And then literally finds her and is like messaging her and like doing all these things. And then the partner finds out because he's trying to create a two-way relationship. Right. So I think because like, and honestly, like we're headed into this world of like, can you have a relationship with an AI? Like I'm sure like marrying AI is going to come up like very soon.
I mean, they already have that AI girlfriend thing and like people went berserk when the servers went down.
Yeah.
Because their girlfriends were wiped.
So I think that's my take.
Okay. Riley, do you agree?
Yeah, because I mean, you're giving that attention to a different outlet rather than
Seems like it's like what's missing from me. I feel like is a reaction that probably a lot of people would have to that.
What does AI chat have that I don't?
Everything.
They literally have all of human creation in their mind. What do you have?
Bro, if you think about it. Well, let us
It's
know
read
what y'all
everything
think in the
down.
comments.
Yeah,
or
let
if you've
me know.
run into that already.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a story.
Has your boyfriend been cheating on you with AI?
r/RKOP show or call 440-508-6567.
All right, we'll see you in this next story that we're about to tell. Also, we just got so roasted in the last one. I was actually affected the other day. I told Riley, I'm like, I'm a little sad right now. So we don't want to disappoint you. You are like the maternal hive mind that we want to ensure that we make proud.
Guiding us and we want to make proud.
Yeah. So thank you to our maternal hive mind.
Yes. We love you guys.
We're getting into the next one.
Let's do it.
I'm breaking up with my girlfriend because she hid a huge present that she got from her ex. John, what do you think? Is this breakup worthy? What kind of present would your girlfriend have to receive from an ex for you to consider breaking up?
A house.
A house? A house?
So if her ex gave her a house, I'm like, don't do that.
Bro, but then you have a house that you can stay in. Bro, that's money.
You're right, actually. We could rent it out, get passive income.
Yeah.
Maybe I just continue to siphon from the ex.
You're saying if Naima got a house from an ex, you would be like, no, return it.
You're right.
I would be like, keep that.
I'm a filthy
Let's
liar.
make some money.
But I guess it depends on the gift. But if I'm going off rip with no context, which is what we're doing here, I'm like, kind of like, what's the big deal? I don't know.
Yeah. What are you hiding?
What are you hiding? I don't know.
All right, well, let's get into it. So my girlfriend and I were lying in bed last night, cuddling and shitting. No, they were.
Oh, God.
When it dawned on me all of a sudden that none of my friends were in relationships anymore. All of them had broken up with their partners within the past few months, which was more or less the same length of time my girlfriend and I had been together. I shared this revelation with my girlfriend mid-cuddle before asking her what I thought was a funny and harmless question at the time. Just a funny, harmless question. I asked her what she thought would be the end of us and encouraged her to come up with ridiculous reasons only. Okay? So, which is a dangerous game.
Very dangerous game.
Full disclosure, my girlfriend and I were both high during the inception of this fuck up.
Okay.
So keep that in mind if some of her actions come across as somewhat random. Anyway, so as per my question, my girlfriend provided the following reasons that would cause our relationship to crumble. 1, if I stop showering. 2, if during sex I said, I'm gonna come ... question mark. I'm gonna come. That's relationship ending.
I mean, I think it's like they're trying to be silly, I guess. So
Okay. 3, if I lived on the 13th floor. 4, if I psst at someone whose name I knew. Like instead of, hey, John,
yeah,
you go, psst.
that is kind of annoying, Loki.
Yeah, also rip to all of our audio listeners that are getting just sounds. If I used a spoon to drink tea or coffee like it was medicine. 6, if I literally licked my thumb before turning to the next page of a book. If I found out she had a dildo replica of her ex's penis. No way that's the gift.
Oh,
No way that's the gift.
Oh my God, Riley, what are you doing to us?
I paused my girlfriend when she got to the 7th reason and asked her if number 7 was something real or ridiculous because it sounded a lot less random than the other reasons. My girlfriend said it was both real and ridiculous while laughing because at that point the atmosphere in the room was still lighthearted. I asked her why she still had her ex's fake penis in her possession. She shrugged and said it was a decent dildo. I was about to ask her if she still used the dildo, but she predicted my question and said it's been a long time since she used it. I think my face was beginning to show mixed feelings because my girlfriend decided to tickle me out of the blue until I laughed. I did laugh thanks to the tickle, but I was unable to forget about the clone a Willy situation. It was bugging me. Bro, if you had a fleshlight made out of an ex-girlfriend's vagina, she would be pissed.
I wouldn't be alive. I would be buried in the dirt. So that it's not even possible.
Dude,
I would not be sitting here on this podcast.
That is nuts. Also, I feel like it's very common for a lot of girls to have an assortment of dildos, but it's frowned upon for guys to have fleshlights.
Free us. Okay. Free the men.
Woo! I have a question for the women in the chat, actually. All right.
Basically everybody.
If you own a dildo What would you think of a man owning a fleshlight? Like, do you have any weird feelings
Do you have
about
any
it?
qualms?
And if you don't know what a fleshlight is,
Aw. Adorable.
I've never owned a fleshlight. Have you owned a fleshlight? You looked away. You looked away.
No.
Okay, so I had to see it. So, oh no.
God, OP, no.
And she's like, all right.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to lift off the ground. Could you help me out? Could you lend a hand? No.
So I asked my girlfriend to show it to me. She reluctantly agreed to show it to me if I promised to file this whole situation under something that means nothing and move on.
No.
Oh, man's in for a world of hurt. I promised. For someone who said she struggled to remember when last she used the dildo, my girlfriend didn't even have to think about where she stored it. Just in case it's unclear, we were in her flat. As soon as I witnessed the clone dildo with my own 2 eyes, I knew, oh yeah, that shit was gonna live rent-free in the back of my mind. Of course it was big. I mean, what other size is there when it comes to X's? Oh, my girlfriend asked if I wanted her to get rid of it. My mind said yes, but my mouth said it was her choice, which is the nice boyfriend thing to do, I guess. But bro, I would be like, yes, get rid of it.
My mind is telling me yes.
I have a quick story about something related, but let me get to the update. She shrugged and said it was just another sex toy. I said a promise is a promise before deciding to make us some coffee, which I drank with a spoon. Playing the breakup game was not the smartest decision on my part. Now I'm cursed with the knowledge that my girlfriend not only kept her ex's clone cock, but most likely used it whenever she wanted, which may or may not have been during our relationship. And there is a juicy update. But John, do you think this guy should ask to get rid of this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I feel like if you sat her down and you're like, listen, there's just no way this cannot be in my mind, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty, like, I get it, you know? Like, I feel like a reasonable person to be like, yeah, that's kind of, which, again, you flip the scenario.
I think there's an emotional connection to it, you know? And so...
just like buy one of the same.
Yeah, just get a different one.
Yeah.
Get a different one.
Booty Buster 9000, like, just...
Yeah, dude. John's got those things on lock.
Yeah,
right? He knows.
Don't look at my search history.
I once had an ex-girlfriend that told me a story about an ex, right? And like we were telling like funny stories about hookups, right? And
another dangerous game.
Yeah. Fuck, terrible game to play. And she's like, yeah, there was this one guy that I dated and he like had this like weird penis and he said, oh, like I make girls come quickly. And she's like, I don't believe it. And I'm like preparing myself for like, oh, like it's going to go badly. And then we hooked up and I came instantly. And I'm like, and then that was it. That was the end of the story. And I'm like, why did you tell me that?
Wow.
And that was before like I figured out all the knobs and the buttons and like.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I don't want to say.
Okay. Oof. Okay. No more context clues for you, Riley. No more. It's over. Oh, dang.
But yeah, you just don't play those kind of games.
No, guys, can we just all stop playing these games? Like, let's end the game. The game is over.
These games are
over, okay? The games are bad. OP's hurt,
There's
Sam
no
is
winning.
hurt.
There's only
Nobody
hurt
wins.
feelings.
Everybody loses. Well, I guess we lose.
Well, Riley seems like he's winning.
Riley is winning right now. He is filled with joy
Riley's
at Sam's
literally
pain.
crying.
Sorry, man.
Oh.
Anyway, let's get into this.
Let's get back to this story.
So I was building up towards sharing my feelings with my girlfriend, but she beat me to it and ended up telling me that she got rid of her ex's clone of Willie because she could tell how much it bothered me. I confirmed what she said about my feelings and thanked her for disposing of her ex's dick, which is not a sentence that you want.
Thanks,
when
babe.
you set a relationship. My girlfriend said I should not be thanking her yet because she was not 100% honest with me when she initially said that she used her ex's clone of Willie a long time ago. At that moment, I knew she was going to tell me that she used the clone of Willie during her relationship with her ex, which was whatever, and during her relationship with me, which was where it kind of became a gray area from a current boyfriend perspective. My girlfriend came clean about using her ex's clone of Willie until the two of us finally figured each other out sexually. So basically, it was like, once you got all those knobs and buttons working, then I stopped.
After you finished your training course, then you were certified.
Then you certified. And then I will clone your Willie.
Yeah.
And the cycle continues.
That's the reward.
I understood what she was saying. The chemistry between us was there since the beginning of our relationship, but the first few times we had sex was a bit of a learning curve for both of us. The sex was enjoyable for the most part, but despite our best efforts, we struggled to get each other off for some reason. During that time, my girlfriend said she low-key relied on her ex's clone of Willy, which apparently made her orgasm without fail. Call me insecure or whatever, but hearing that made me go, ouch, on the inside. Brother, I feel you. My girlfriend said the irony of relying on her ex's clone of Willy while we struggled to find our sweet spot in the bedroom was the fact that she realized later on that her attachment to something from the past might have prevented her from fully committing to something in the present or something like that.
Yeah.
She said it better. My girlfriend assured me that when she told me her ex's clone of Willy was just another sex toy, she meant it, because that was what it eventually became when she learned to let go of lingering feelings. Why does this feel like poetic? like this clone of Willy is like the embodiment of the relationship and letting go of all the memories.
It is the symbol that represented us, united us.
Anyway, and then fully embraced the new connection she had with me. She made it sound like one of the reasons our sex life became the complete package it is now was due to the fact she stopped using the clone of Willy as her main source to get off. She apologized for not being vulnerable enough to unpack the impact her ex had on the beginning stages of a relationship and promised that her flat was now free of all her ex's clone of Willy dildos.
All of them?
What do you mean?
No. Why did the secret? Oh, geez. I thought she implied that there was more than one clone of Willy as a joke to get a reaction out of me. But as soon as she opened the garbage bin, I realized her ex really loved cloning his dick. I counted 3, including the one I knew about. The other 2 were both glow in the dark.
Not vision enhanced, so you can find it at any time.
My girlfriend and I laughed about it. I have a feeling we're going to be okay. That said, not sure I'll easily forget about her well-endowed ex-boyfriend who pieced out of his relationship with my girlfriend by leaving behind not 1, not 2, but 3 of his dick.
Wow.
Honestly, every girlfriend I have from now on is getting a clone of my dick.
Like, we're locking this in, babe, okay?
That's great. That's a great gift.
It is.
It's a great
like a
Especially
way
if you're
to
long distance.
Yeah, like a way to stay connected. Yeah.
Yeah. Even when I'm not here,
Yeah.
I'm inside
Exactly.
of your heart.
Yep. And other things.
Oh man, what a story. That was
story.
great, Riley. That was great.
Good job.
Great pick, Riley.
Wow, look at this producer. Let's give a round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man. Anyway, how would you feel if your partner had a cloned dildo and or fleshlight? Put your answers in the comments. And with that, that's a wrap. We love you and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Bye.